I am Antonia, CEO of Impersonations Atlanta. This morning, I just wanted to jump on here to do a quick talk for our Wind Down Wednesday, where we talk strategy. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction of Impersonations. Impersonations Atlanta is a strategic agency where we provide tools for clients to build out their organization, whether that be launching a new law firm or perhaps it's launching a new strategy within your law practice. So let's dive into the content. Today we're going to be talking about marketing versus business development so that people get a full understanding of the difference between the two. Oftentimes, attorneys get the two mixed up. Not only attorneys, but people generally, because we don't take the time to explain exactly what it is, meaning what business development is, and then also explaining and detailing what marketing is. And essentially, while they cross over each other at some point, they're different, very different, right? So first, let's define business development. Business development is the pursuit of strategic tasks, tactics, and actions to develop a very specific plan to achieve a very specific goal or goals, depending on what it is. In this case, where I provide Strategy Academy, the goal is to launch a new law firm or to launch a new initiative, right? So that's why business development is applicable to Strategy Academy, because that's what it is. It runs you through the strategies that are necessary for you to launch a new law firm. And it's a strategic step-by-step approach that is being taught. And it shows you exactly what needs to be done at each and every step along the process. So that, of course, is very different from marketing. And then, of course, marketing. Marketing is the act of selling and promoting of a business, and that is of a product or a service of that business, right? So the two are very different, and where they interact with each other, they're still very different, right? The next important point that I want to make is that you essentially can't have one without the other. So what oftentimes happens is you come out of the gate as an attorney and you decide that you want to start a new law firm, or in this case, any business. And the first thing you do is you run off to do the marketing piece of it. You develop a logo, you develop branding, you develop all the things that go along with the marketing piece, social media pages, handles, all the jazzy stuff, which is great. There's nothing wrong with developing those things. But before we get there, can we talk about what all that is and what it means? And what that means is that you need to actually come up with a plan of what it is that you're marketing, what it is that you're selling to your clients, whether it's a service or it's a product. It needs to be developed first. There also needs to be a plan on how you're going to launch marketing. There needs to be a plan on branding. What does the branding mean? What does it look like? What are the icons that you're going to use? What are the images that you're going to use, and why? What are the messages that they're going to carry? All of these things are the strategic pieces that need to be put together when you're developing the business development strategy that then rolls out into the actions that are implemented in your marketing strategy. So that's why I say you have to do your strategy and business development piece first. You need to develop that first, and then you roll into launching your marketing strategy and your marketing plan. So that's why you can't put marketing ahead and as a priority before you come up with your business strategy, right? Now, there are other pieces that you're going to have to look at and you're going to have to develop strategically. For example, what is your internal strategic plan as it relates to your operations? How many people are you going to need? How many hours are they going to need to put in? How much money do you have to pay them? How much money do you have available to you before you're turning a profit, or you're turning even an income, money coming in, right? These are all strategic things that you need to be thinking about, and you need to be laying this all out on paper, because it all comes together as one full and cohesive plan. And it all connects to each other because it's all a part of the same business, right? So before we get on to marketing, which of course is the fun, jazzy stuff, it's the stuff that you see, it's the stuff that you post on social media, it's the ads that you place, it's the website that you do. You need to build out the strategic things that are going to support the business and what it does before you even consider launching your marketing plan and putting the initiatives and plans and implementation and all that stuff in place. So I'm not going to do a very long video today, but I just wanted to touch on that, and based on the questions and responses I get from this, I may do a follow-up video just to talk a little bit more in depth about it. But I wanted to just get on here and make it very clear that marketing and business development and strategy are two different things. And before you get to marketing, you need to do your business development strategy piece first. You need to get that cleared away and squared away, all in order, along with a number of other strategies like I mentioned before. First one being your operational strategy. We also need to talk about finances. Are you going to have enough capital to take you to what is projected to be the duration of the time that you need to build the business up before you can secure clients, and enough clients to keep you going, not forgetting that you have to cover the rent, the lease for the location that you're at, staff, any other expenses that comes. Perhaps you might have systems, you might have software that needs to be paid for. All of that stuff is going to eat away at your bottom line, and it's going to eat away at what you're estimating for cost, right? So you need to have money in place for that. So again, you need a strategic plan in place to cover your operational side, which then leads on to finances. Are you going to be able to go to the bank to get a loan that's going to cover your startup costs for, let's say, 6 months? It could be 12 months. Who knows how long it's going to be before you're able to secure the amount of clients that you need to keep the business afloat. These are all things that you need to think about. You need to consider these things. Or do you have enough in savings that you've saved perhaps before you even started the business, or before you started on this new venture that you're doing, that you're building a strategic plan for? Do you have enough in savings, in backed cash, that is going to be able to cover that and keep the business afloat, keep you paid, so that you're able to earn a living, to maintain your life at a minimum, and then also to be able to pay your employees if you have any, or in this case, outside resources if you're outsourcing, right? So there are lots of strategic things that you need to be looking at. In my Strategy Academy, I cover some very, very specific areas and pillars of strategy that law firms and lawyers need to be looking at in the event that they're starting a new law firm, or perhaps they're relaunching, or they're doing something new. And I've included very specific things like this because it's so important. It's oftentimes missed, oftentimes not considered, and oftentimes you take off, you jump off the edge and you move into it, which is all great because you jump off the bridge and you're diving straight in. But you need to think about more than launching and the desire to launch. You need to think about what it's going to cost. What are the things that you need in place? You also need to think about insurance. What do I need to have in insurance coverage? What is required by the regulatory body for which you fall within, and also what is it that you're going to need in the event that one of your cases go belly up. Like, you need to be able to cover yourself, or what if you get sued? So you need to include that and think about that strategically as well, right? You need to start thinking about location. Where are you going to be located? Is it a location where there's lots of law firms that are going to be competing against you for the same clients, which means it's going to make it really, really tough for you to grow and establish your business? Because if they're there and they're really established and you're not bringing something so cutting edge or so competitive in pricing, then you're going to have a hard time or a longer time to build up your business, because you're competing against some really, really established law firms and lawyers who've been there before you have even thought about going there. So I know I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there, away from what we're talking about, where we're talking about marketing versus business development, but I just wanted to touch a little bit on all the different strategies and what business development means and all the things that are encompassed in building a strategy for a business, before you even think about doing marketing, before you're thinking about launching, a marketing campaign of some sort. You need to have thought about, what your return is going to look like. You're forecasting for returns, and what are your key performance indicators. Lots of things to look at before you get to marketing. But I think starting with knowing the difference between the two, understanding what business development is, what it is not, and that it's not the same as marketing, and that in fact you need it before you even think about marketing, is a great starting point for any attorney to know, to understand, and to kind of get you thinking that, hey, you know what, maybe I need a strategist to come on board to help me think through some things, to get some stuff on paper, to get a real understanding of where I'm at and understanding of where I'm trying to go. And then let's come up with a plan on how we get there. Then we move to implementation. Then we start doing marketing and all that fun jazzy stuff. But way before we get there, there's lots of stuff to do on that business development side. Once again, I am Antonia Berry. I'm the CEO of Impersonations Atlanta. I'm going to leave all of my contact information at the end of this video in the event that you would like to send me questions, you would like to send me topics that you would like to hear me cover, or perhaps you would just like to connect to do a consultation to talk about your business. Thanks for watching. Join us again next week.